All right, what's up, kids? Uh, Today I'm about to get into the digital SAT. It's been something I started researching more seriously since yesterday. Ever since I've been wanting to begin my research on this like a week ago at least, but it's just been such a long time. It just took me such a long time to actually get settled in Vietnam with the house, with the apartment that I have right now. Uh, just turned out to be a little bit more difficult than expected. So we're all good there. We're all good there. I kind of figured out the sort of local solution to the electrical grounding issue that you guys might have noticed yesterday or a couple days ago. Now I can touch my MacBook, or sorry, I can touch my Mac and no longer get shocked. It's not due to a feat of engineering, it's just due to rubber flip-flops. So learned some electrical engineering today, a couple days ago, and now this is the solution. The solution is to wear flip-flops, so I will no longer get shocked, which is so ghetto, but you know, got to work with what I got. Today we'll be getting into the digital preview. Right now I have the iPad. What do you call it? The iPad app open, and I'm gonna try using this. I'm gonna try messing with this UI by using my mouse, keyboard and mouse on the iPad, by using my Apple Pencil on the iPad, fingers and or Apple Pencil on the iPad, and then switching over to the Mac, to my Mac app, and seeing how the UI feels different. It should basically be like a web interface, just you know, with like this just sort of repackaged in different formats. So I assume it'll be roughly the same, but we'll see how it works. So we're gonna get into the test preview right now. Here you go. And yeah, mainly I'm gonna focus on just what it feels like and how the questions seem. All right, so let's go into the keyboard right now, the keyboard and trackpad version of the iPad app. Here we go. So keyboard and trackpad, by the way, I don't really use this on iPad very frequently, but it is a little laggy for me. I don't know if it's laggy for you guys when you guys use it, but for me, I find that keyboard and trackpad lags on this iPad mini. Now, let's see, explore it, take my time. They're untimed with a 1 minute break in between. What timer will be running? There will be break between sections. Sure, test my assistive technology. Okay, sure. Ooh, it loads fast at least. Okay, the questions in this section address a number of important reading and writing skills. One or more passages, which may include a table or graph. Read each passage and question carefully, then choose the best answer. There are multiple choice with 4 answer choices. There is a single best answer. Okay, so this is basic, not like examination-ese, so you can kind of just ignore, like honestly you can ignore this after the first time you read it. Directions, oh yeah, well that's cute that they use this up and down arrow. this little what do you call this, this little arrow, this other arrow seems a little redundant, but sure. Looking at this. Oh, what just happened? Mouse, please come back. Okay. And then we have, you can hide the timer. You can annotate. Oh my God, you have to select and then annotate? Who would use this? Who would use this? Saul doesn't use this. Oh, but when you hover over it, that's kind of useful, I guess. This seems very clumsy. I'm gonna try that same thing with my hands. So I'm pulling up my iPad right now. And then I'd have to type it. I see. So funny. All right, well, that's a little, and then if I try to just highlight a word, right, this interstitial comes up no matter what. And if I close it, it keeps the highlight. And if I tap it, and I have this stupid thing in front of me, okay. And then there's an ongoing confirmation just for deleting. That's gonna slow people down. So this, I don't imagine using annotation right now on these short passages so far. We'll see. It doesn't feel any faster on the mouse. It doesn't feel any faster annotating on keyboard and mouse or on, what do you call it, by hand. Except typing seems like it'll be much faster once I actually get through it. So this, whoa, what just happened there? So this just doesn't seem very useful. Okay, this annotation just seems kind of useless, honestly. Okay, so now I'm going here. Mark for review. Okay, so that's cool, because this is something that you guys need to get used to on the real test anyway. You can change the, I guess that's good. I think I like this. Nah, you know what? I think I like 50-50. All right. What is this? Cross out answer choices. Oh, that's kind of cute. Ah, that is kind of cute. It's a little unintuitive that it's on the right side for me personally. I find that a little unintuitive. I wonder if it keeps, does it keep it on? Okay, it does. So that's good. Actually, this is not the worst. This is better than I was expecting. This little cross out thing. I do think it'd be more intuitive just to have it here. You know, even if you turn it on the right side, have it on the left side, because I think that's where people are used to crossing things out. Like by force of habit, we're all used to crossing things out on the left side. Might as well just go with the flow. You know what I mean? Everyone's already using it that way. Why would you suddenly force people to kind of remap their sort of nervous system just to have a new habit for this? So that's a little unusual. Like, I don't know why I would do that. Okay. But okay. I don't know if I would personally use it, but maybe you would, because you would do this and you go back and then you come back. Yeah. And then, ooh, I wish there were keyboard shortcuts. Are there keyboard shortcuts? Hell yeah. Keyboard shortcuts. Oh my God. Command plus control plus B? There's not even arrows? Guys, this is the weirdest. These are the worst keyboard shortcuts in the world, guys. What the hell is this? What? Who's gonna... Wait, how am I gonna remember this, dude? What? This is so unintuitive. Just use like the bracket. Use the bracket or the arrow keys, guys. What the hell? Who came up with this? You guys... Arrow keys or brackets, oh my lord, oh my lord. Or even NP at least. NP is kind of an old school version. I think Gmail came out with NP. But brackets for left and right, or arrow key for left and right, please. What the heck is this, man? That's the worst. Who made these keyboard shortcuts? Oh, Jesus. Okay. And then next is X. Why is it B and X? Who came up with B and X? Like, these people made... These people never use keyboard shortcuts in their lives. Whoever designed this never used a keyboard shortcut, ever. Like, what the heck is this? It was just some requirement that some product manager way up high said, we need keyboard shortcuts. Students love keyboard shortcuts. And then they just got somebody who never used keyboard shortcuts a single time in their lives to just design this completely illogical set of shortcuts. Who uses B and X for next and previous? That's insane. Okay, it's infuriating. I mean, and there's convention for this thing, man. Like, I know a lot of students use Notion, a lot of students use Gmail, you know. So if you use keyboard shortcuts, those are some of your primary reference points for keyboard shortcuts. Like, why would you? Oh, God. And like the default for help, by the way, is the question mark. Oh my God. Who's seriously? Oh, I just command control H, and that doesn't even work, I think. I didn't get anything with that. That didn't help at all. There's no help. Okay, help didn't work. Brew. What is this? Oh my God. I guess I could switch over to, I want to maybe double check on the, but I'm pretty sure the UI on the computer version, on the Mac OS version, is going to be the same. I will switch over just to kind of prove the point, but okay, this is my Mac OS version, which incidentally the keyboard and mouse connects faster when it's because I'm using Sidecar, so I don't know, it makes the iPad, I guess, really slow. So yeah, feels the same. Feels the same. Nothing weird here except this battery thing. I didn't notice that before. Shortcuts, same ridiculous shortcuts. Command Option A for annotating, I guess. Close a message. That's just the escape key, bros. For the love of God. Jesus. Dude, we need to eliminating Command Option 1, 2, 3, 4. That kind of works at least. That at least is kind of okay. Command Option I can work with. Command Option is way more common than Command Control, by the way. Command Control is extremely uncommon. I assume they're using these extremely strange. I think part of the reason why they're using really weird keyboard shortcuts is because they have to have a web app. No, but they don't have a web app. There's no Bluebook for the web. It's all native apps. It's all iPad or Mac OS apps. So, no, they had complete latitude with their keyboard shortcuts, and they effed it up. I mean, why would you do it like this? It's insane. Okay, so keyboard shortcuts gets a hard fail. Like it's a hard fail for me, man. That is no good. Okay, I'm gonna keep moving. I actually kind of like using the Mac version. It just feels faster and snappier at the moment. So I'm gonna keep going with this. Actually, I want to see though what the iPad. It does look visually different. Oh, you know, for some reason there's a battery indicator on the Mac OS native version. I guess that kind of makes sense, but it's not even a full screen. It's not even a full screen app. So why would that? Also, what the hell? It's not even full screen. Does that mean I can like go to Safari? I mean, I can go to Goodreads. I don't get it. It's not full screen. I literally. Okay. Well, I assume there's some sort of solution to this on the real test, but okay, whatever. I'm gonna skip that. Now let me continue. Exit these unscheduled break. I guess that's useful. Okay. Quick summary of my thoughts so far. Annotation seems practically useless. Process elimination, the elimination thing, is very unintuitively on the right side of the answer for some reason, which I think is going to be very unintuitive for 99% of people. Let me know if that's actually intuitive for you. I think it's very unintuitive for it to be on the right side. I think it should be on the left side. And it could even be more obvious. You could just have an X next to it even. The icon is a little unintuitive. I find all of these icons extremely unintuitive. But okay, you will get used to it when you're taking the test. I guess when you're practicing for the test. But it could be designed better. And then these shortcuts are a god-awful, an abysmal implementation of keyboard shortcuts. Like, who came up with this? I have no idea how you can justify this kind of thing. Like, why do you even need to do Control Shift? Like, you can just do 1, 2, 3, 4, right? Like, you should just be able to do 1, 2, 3, 4. Like, why do you have to do this? This is ridiculous. You should be able to do 1, 2, 3, 4 or A, B, C, D, and then just be able to click the answer choice. These shortcuts are god awful. Holy crap. Okay, so that's my interaction so far with this. And then the really important one for me is also the Command Control B and X. Oh my God, what is that? How do I go to the next? Right, so, oh my God, this is so unintuitive. right? This is the worst way of navigating. Command Control and B to go backwards and Command Control X to go forwards. Insane. Okay, horrible keyboard shortcuts. But you know what? I'm just gonna no longer use keyboard shortcuts this whole stream. It's just gonna trigger me constantly. All right, so we're done with keyboard shortcuts. Move on. Let's look at the questions now. Now, since I'm gonna look at the questions, I'm gonna actually switch over to what do you call it? The side. Where's sidecar? I'm gonna switch to sidecar. I'm gonna switch to my Mac version. Give me a sec. All right. And here we go. In recommending Bao Fee's collection, Song I Sing, a librarian noted the pieces by the spoken word poet don't lose their spoken nature when printed. The language has the same musical. Okay, so it's melodic. Okay, musical quality. Spoken is the idea I was looking for. Wow, I wish you could just hit B. And hit. I wish I could just type B and then enter and it would just move on. But again, keyboard shortcuts, horrible miss here. All right, following test. So this is going to be a highly mouse clicky experience, which I don't like. I like just using the keyboard. I'm going to try this one from. I'm going to try this one with my iPad in my hands. So here we go. The following test is from Herman Melville's 1854 novel Lightning Rod Man. Stood still. Exact middle of the cottage where he first planted himself. His singularity. Okay, that makes sense. He's singularly interesting. A gloomy figure. His pitfall. So he's a whole singular. Okay. The function of this thing is to set up his appearance. Yep, that's D. I'm tapping on. Oh, sorry. I'm tapping on the Mac version. I need to switch over here. So melodic, and then I can move on. Ooh, that feels a lot faster on tablet with finger. If I use an iPad mini, it's an iPad mini 5, it's an old one, but that feels a lot faster. In fact, it feels so fast that I feel like kind of awkward like moving on. Like it makes me kind of feel like I should do this. But what's interesting about having the process elimination button on the right side is you can kind of see, like I can actually just hold it with my two hands and then just eliminate with my right thumb. So this feels like, that's not something I felt very intuitive visually using a keyboard and mouse or keyboard and trackpad, but as a handheld tablet experience, it makes a lot more sense to me. But if it's supposed to be a handheld tablet experience, then this highlighting, I kind of wish you could just tap on. So I kind of wish you could just tap on the, like right now, there's no way I can close this modal, okay, this bottom sheet modal that just pops up, unless I actually literally hit on close, which is a huge miss, by the way. They really need to let me just tap on the background, and as soon as I tap on the background, so I'll show you what I mean here. Okay, as soon as I tap on this background over here, this modal on the bottom should vanish. I mean, it's what all modern UIs do. And so they're forcing me, if this is supposed to be a handheld experience, okay, like I guess I can click on those for some reason, so it's live. So the background isn't disabled whatsoever. I can actually click on the answers, which is crazy to me. But I have to literally aim my finger at here just to close this thing if I want to highlight at all. But at the moment, I would probably recommend, for any student who can, I would recommend that you take this on tablet. I think it's much better. Okay, my device just timed out. Very annoying. Very annoying. Let me just figure out that issue right now. But again, the tablet seems like a much better experience so far. Okay, because the keyboard shortcuts are nonsense. I mean, if the keyboard shortcuts were any good, then I would actually probably recommend, in fact, if I were teaching a class, I would probably train the kids to use the keyboard shortcuts. I would probably spend like a 30-minute period of just, let's get through you are not allowed to use a mouse. You're only allowed to use the keyboard. go. And I would have a session like that where you train yourself to use the keyboard shortcuts. It would be so much faster if the shortcuts were any good, but they're very unintuitive. And maybe you can just like learn their really unique and very quirky keyboard shortcuts. I would just recommend tablet personally. Just use your fingers because the crossing out is on the right side. Feels much better. Why US? Why us questions for college? Today I will not be focusing on college applications during the stream, but I'm happy to talk about it maybe at the very end of the stream. So maybe that's like an hour from now or something like that. Okay. Yeah. Wow. Holy crap, dude. The keyboard shortcuts are an absolute travesty. And then this interstitial with the highlighting. What just happened? Oh, my thing isn't even working. Let me. Hang on, what app am I using right now? Okay, I'm using the... Oh, also, what they really should do is something like the Kindle. Like, you shouldn't have to tap on this just to annotate. They really should do it just like the Kindle. Let me show you my Kindle. I'm reading about Vietnam right now, my new country of residence, right? So with the Kindle, there's a little pop-up. There's a tooltip. And so you can choose your highlighting color right away, right? And then you can choose additionally to add a note, which is, I think, way more intuitive. And you could even, I thought you could just delete it from this. Oh yeah, you can delete it just from this interface directly. So I think that's a lot more intuitive. There should be a tooltip that pops over. It should not be an automatic bottom sheet modal where you're forced to hit X to come out. Extremely bad implementation of the annotation there either. I would say right now the most egregious sin is the keyboard shortcuts, and the second most egregious is annotation. And I would actually say, oh my God, and you have to like confirm a delete. You should not have to confirm a deleting. That's insane. All right, that's insane. And I think this is just quirky, it being on the right side. I think that's very quirky. Maybe you should actually have it on both sides. That'd be interesting, but it works when you're using a tablet. So, all right, those are my thoughts so far on this interface. Ooh, I wish you could just, oh, you know what? They should definitely implement swipe. Here, I'll actually switch. Let me show you what I mean. But they should implement swipe. So you should be able to swipe to get to the next question. Yo, this is neither a good tablet app nor a good PC app. It's just, but okay. All right. I mean, I didn't really have the highest expectations out of College Board in the first place, but okay. I will say overall though, it's cleaner and easier and smoother than I was expecting. So at least technically on the back end, it's not laggy and stuff like that. So that's nice. But wow. Okay, I'm gonna keep going. So yes, it sets up the description, and then I can double check if I want. I can, I can highlight in this very clumsy way, and then I have to force this close, and then I move on. And I have to press these buttons to move back and forth. Whew, these people. College Board, please watch my video. I'm basically doing free HCI consulting for you. Please watch this video. Some studies have suggested that cognition. We should not overstate it though. But they found no difference. Exactly. So the main purpose is to qualify a argument. Yep, that's D. And you want to know how I got it so fast? I looked for qualify, but in my head, I'm not only looking for the word qualify, I'm looking for synonyms of qualify, and I see illustrate caution needed, and I saw immediately, I didn't look at A, B, and I very quickly glanced over A, B, C, and I didn't find synonyms for qualify. I just found caution needed, and I just moved on. Right now I haven't even done process elimination for A and B and C. I would just move on the real tests too. This is not a very good UI though, I have to say. This is nice that you can actually use your, you can actually scroll with your finger here. I'm using my finger to show my scrolling. Oh, dude, is there a way to show the place on my screen that my finger is tapping on iPads? I want to look that up. If you guys know, let me know. I think there is, but I don't know how. Okay, but I'm looking at this. I can actually use my finger to scroll up and down here, which is nice. I just wish I could scroll. I wish I could swipe to go to the next question or previous question, or I wish I could do a pinch. I wish I could do a pinch to see like all the pages. For example, with Kindle you can't do that. With Kindle you have to do this thing over here, right? So that's not the best. But Muse, where's Muse? Muse, how come I can't? Oh, because my keyboard's connected. With Muse, you can do just that. You can just pinch out, and you would just pinch out to a bigger view. And so I really wish the Bluebook app, it would implement swipe gestures and pinch gestures, okay, to let me kind of zoom around on the questions. And then when we pinch, they could have like a big overlaid number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, right, to identify which page is which question. And even maybe like whether I marked it or whatnot. Because having to go through this, that seems kind of clumsy. And then this thing, I guess this is okay. I'm looking at it. Here, let me see what happens if I mark this for review. So then that's okay. Okay, that's fast at least. At least it's fast. It's fast, so not the worst. All right, so I'm a lot of missed opportunities with finger gestures, though. There could have been a lot more interactions with fingers, with finger gestures. All right, now I'm looking here. I'm going to read this question. Diana, what's up? So I saw this. I'm going to move on. Okay, 2 texts. Based on the texts, how would they? Okay, so I'm just going to read them real quick. Oh, dude, this actually might change my strategy. My strategy has always been to read the passage first, but my strategy might have to be updated to reading the question first. But even if I read the question first, I would strongly not recommend reading the answer choices first. That I think you could start here, and then go here, and then go how come I can't zoom in suddenly? Oh, it's buggy because it's scrolling at the same time. That's insane. Okay, that's actually a little annoying. Then maybe they should have made it static. Okay, but making it static is also really bad. But now that makes the gesture so much harder. Dude. College Board, please. I know it might seem kind of lamer at first, but make it static. Make the left and right side. Oh no, but now you have this responsive thing. Dude, I don't know if you're gonna do it. Then just find some way where right now what I'm doing here, okay, I'll show it to you right now. What I'm doing right now is I'm like trying to zoom in on here, but it's like really hard. It's like it just gets stuck here, right? Especially if it's like moving at all. If it's like in mid animation, you can't zoom. So there needs to be some sort of like overriding logic or something, because that's just bad for test taking. Now that said, I heard that the SAT doesn't feel like it takes that much time, right? And you feel like you have like a lot of time left over, but I'm willing to bet that within 3 years, the SAT is gonna adjust to how easy everyone's finding it, and it's gonna become extremely hard, and everyone's gonna be squeezed for time again within 3 years. So we can't assume that the SAT will always have like a luxury of time. So we need to have I strongly challenge the College Board to design a better UI. I think what they've done so far is pretty good in terms of responsiveness and how quick it is. I think that's probably the most important thing, honestly. So I would say, maybe right now my grade for the overall experience is like B or B minus, because they have the most important part down. But there's so many missed opportunities. It's insane. Okay, now I'm gonna keep going. Because now I can't even That Zoom is so janky. Jesus. All right. Well, next. So what was I even talking about? Let me do this. So yes, I probably have to change my recommendation for the order of operations now. You probably want to read the questions first. I'm going to do that right now. Based on text, how would does text 2 most likely describe the view of text 1? Okay. What factors influence the abundance? Some have argued historical diversity. Differences in community diversity across. In this view, are strongly affected by the number of species living in those habitats at earlier times. It's weird. It's weird because it's a very short passage summarizing some other view. Okay, in 2010, Caceres created pools. They stocked some pools with a diverse mix of zooplankton, zooplankton, single. Little to no difference in species diversity. Oh, you know what? Weirdly, reading the question first. Thank you. I was being very dumb. Thank you. I was getting overly excited about the UI problems. What actually happened is when I read the question first and then I did the two texts, I actually see. The question is actually not asking about what text 2 thinks about text 1. It's actually asking about what Caceres in text 2 thinks about the theorists in text 1. So it's actually multiple layers. But before reading the text, before reading the passages, I had no conception of how many viewpoints there would be. So actually, this made me slower. Like reading this first made me more uncomfortable because I was like looking for something that wasn't there. So weirdly, I actually may not recommend reading the questions first. I'm gonna keep experimenting with this to see what works, but like I might not recommend reading the questions first. It would have been honestly a lot faster for me. I would have gotten through, like I'm very, very confident that I would have gone through this question much faster if I just not read the question at all. Anyway, so there's little to no difference. And here we're talking about diversity, and apparently he's gonna say, yep, may seem plausible, there's skepticism there, not supported. Cool, moving on. I didn't actually share my prediction for you, so I should have. Next time I'll actually verbalize my prediction. Here we go. Ghosts of the Old Year. Who, in the poem, describes an ongoing cycle of anticipation followed by regretful reflection. So we need to have anticipation and then reflection. Oh, this zoom makes things very confusing. Holy crap. I do not want to zoom anymore. Does this help? Oof, I don't know. I don't know if that helps. Okay, just gonna keep it stable here. I wish I could lock these then, but anyway. Reflection, anticipation, reflection. Ambition's high, there we go. Anticipation, and leaves aside, link to the past. Okay, that's reflection. So we got that. Moving on. Okay, I'm noticing that I am not even using the elimination at all. I want to have a really hard question to force me to use the elimination, like this thing. Let me try. Participants' evaluation of the likelihood that robots can work effectively. Now, in this one, I will actually try to read the question first, just to see how that works. Which choice uses data to complete the example? So there's going to be an example down here. I see. Evaluation of the likelihood that robots can work effectively in different occupations. Here we go. Oh, so what's the highest one? The highest is news anchor and tour guide for some reason, which is funny, which is Huh. Tour guide of all things? Wait. And not surgeon? Whoa, that's kind of crazy. It's kind of like the opposite of what okay. All right, well, this is like the opposite of the way I would think, personally. So teacher for sure is very unlikely. Wow, what the heck, man? This is so all over the place. Okay, that's what people think, apparently. The Bryant and Howard were interested in the perception of the robot's competence. They recruited participants varied widely depending on the occupation being considered. So we have to find something between 67 for news anchor and 16 for surgeon. 67 for news anchor, 16 as a tour guide. Oh, 82 versus 16. That's better. Yep. No process elimination necessary. Naomi Nakayama, Edinburgh, seeds appear. Wait, actually, let me just continue with reading the question first. I actually have a very strong habit of reading the passage first. It's really hard for me to force myself to read the question first. I'm going to try it, though. I'm going to see what happens. Which choice completes... Come on, that's not even useful. The Naomi Nakayama of the University of Edinburgh says, while falling, is that there? Oh, no comma. Okay. Oh, interesting. There's no default. It's actually a literal blank now. It's a literal blank. Although that's not the case for all questions. There's this one question where it's not a blank, but it's it's an actual underline over here. But many questions are just blanked out. So that's also made. That's a difference. There's literal blanks, kind of like in the old. I think the old SAT had blanks. I no longer remember, honestly. But anyway, so that's interesting. The literal blanks changes my strategy a little bit because what happens is it's harder to predict when there's not a blank. When there's nothing in the blank. You kind of have to read the question, and you even kind of have to skim the answer choices sometimes to even make a prediction, depending on how good you are at English. The better you are, the less you'll have to do that, but still. Like, I could predict the word falling, even though I promise you I did not look at the right side. I was only looking here, and I said falling. And I made that prediction, but, most kids, you have to look at the questions. So this becomes kind of more the type of test taking that I don't like to encourage. I think having a pre-filled answer in the blank is better. I think if A was pre-filled, it would be better. But I never did the research on this, so I don't know what the scientific research says. But I think if you put the blank, if you don't pre-fill answer choice A in the blank, and you just leave it an absolute blank, kids are going to start falling for those dumb tips and tricks about how to do process elimination better, and it's just going to lead towards that kind of unnecessary skill set. So I don't know. Those are my thoughts. Well, anyway, D is obviously the correct answer. I don't even need to read the whole sentence now. At least on the current SAT, I would actually basically tell everyone read the whole damn thing. But now I don't need to. So this is much more like test takey, right? It's much more about how efficient can you be, right? I don't like that. I am surprised by the questions. I like the questions a lot more than I expected. The questions I like, but the format of this makes it so that now we're no longer really encouraging a lot of proper reading. We're encouraging a lot more of just the read the question and do these stupid little tricks and eliminate these answers, and then let's play probability games. I think it's C because it's the shortest answer, right? Stuff like that. Now, the counter argument to defend the College Board on the way they designed the questions, not the UI anymore. I'm not talking about the UI right now. On the way they designed the questions is now there's no clear template for what the questions will be. It's highly random. Every time I see a question, it's like, oh, it's a totally new type of question. Now, maybe in a year or two, all the SAT academies will start making a big compiled list of like question types and stuff like that, and then it becomes a lot easier, right, to like sort of code it or decode it, I mean. But like at the moment, for me, in my current experience, it feels very random, like what's going to come out. Like, so every single time I am sort of like reading the question carefully to make sure I understand it and all that stuff. So those are two sides of the argument. Okay, on the one hand, I feel like this might tend towards the sort of building up of like these quote unquote test taking skills that I think are completely useless in real life. You know, these dumb probability games that like these SAT academies teach you. On the other hand, maybe the College Board is going to keep the question format so diverse that it's actually really hard to use those tips and tricks, you know, those little shortcuts. And so as a result, all the best kids, all the 800 scorers have to properly read it, read the thing, read the question, read the answer choice, and go for it, right? So we'll see. Orange alert, just to quickly answer, this is a practice test by the College Board. You can go on the College Board official website and get like a link to the digital SAT app called Bluebook. Here, I'll show you what it looks like. It's called Bluebook. Okay, here we go. While researching a topic, a student has taken the following notes. Mackay tubs. Oh, I've seen this before. It's such an interesting question. I want to try it. Native sculptor. I can turn that into a positive. I can turn this into a relative clause. His work has been shown. I would probably start a new sentence on the third one. Oh, I kind of wish they didn't have bullet points. I wish they used A, B, C, D, E. So at least as teachers, I could at least communicate it clear. If like the bullet points makes it really hard for me to communicate it verbally. You know what I mean? But if it's just A, B, C, D, E, or I, like I, double I, triple I, IV, V, Roman numerals, you know, then at least I could like call it out. You know what I mean? This is really annoying. Anyway, for the third one, for number 3, I'm thinking that would be a new sentence. His work erasure includes, and I would probably combine 4 and 5 with 3 and make them in parallel. So here's how my prediction would sound. This is a fun sentence. Hell yeah. So here are my 2 sentences. But I actually didn't even read the question type, so let me read the question type. Oh, come on. It's not even that hard. I thought it was asking me to combine all 5 of these sentences into an effective paragraph. That would have been a beautiful question. I would have loved that question to death. Oh, come on. We're just looking at all. But this is also an important skill, by the way. So I don't dislike this question, but I'm just upset because I really want to share with you my prediction. Here's my prediction, okay? I'm going to combine these 5 sentences into 2. I'm just going to flex for fun. I would say Native American sculptor and installation artist Mackay Tubbs, whose work has been shown in the United States, Canada, Japan, and Germany, among other places. Oh, sorry. I failed. Because that's a fragment. I didn't properly think through the ending of my sentence. I only thought of the beginning of my sentence. Okay. Mackay Tubbs, a Native American sculptor and installation artist, has produced work that has been shown in the United States, Canada, Japan, and Germany, among other places. Many of his sculptures feature discarded objects, such as erasure, which includes actually, I'll probably just put a colon. His 2008 work, his erasure 2008 includes. I guess there's many ways of doing this, so that's why I'm just struggling to spitball it. But I could use a colon and then just like literally combine the sentences 4 and 5 with an and in between. Is the thing I was thinking. We could do verb elision and make it more fancy. Many of his sculptures feature discarded objects. His work Erasure 2008 discarded audio tapes, audio cassette tapes and magnets, comma, and his work Homegrown, 2009, discarded push pins, plastic plates, and forks, and wood. Oh my god, that's such a long and ugly sentence. I don't even like my sentence anymore, but it's a doable sentence. In my head though, I have like multiple possibilities of sentences in my head, so for the purposes of the test, you know, I already have multiple predictions I can make, so I'm pretty happy. But yeah, actually saying that out loud is embarrassingly difficult. That was just like, that was a mess. Okay, here we go. We want to emphasize a similarity between the two works. Okay. However is wrong. Wrong. What the heck? Oh, if you stay zoomed in, weird. If I'm zoomed in, I can't scroll? What the hell is going on? Whoa, zooming? This zoom is like is a global zoom. There's no local zoom here. Bad design choice. Very bad design choice. Okay, you should just like not zoom because that is really awkward. I like zooming because I want to show you, my viewers, where I am on the page, but this is extremely hard to, like, it's hard for me to show you where I'm looking without zooming. But on the test, guys, do not use zoom. It's gonna wreck you. It's so bad. It should be honestly a local zoom for this container. This container should have its own zoom. No, even that's kind of bad. I don't know, man. I don't know. All right, well, here we go. Like many of Tubbs' sculptures, they include discarded objects. Okay. Yeah. I'm sorry, why did I eliminate? Yeah, that's what so this is the similarity. Check your work? Sure. I think I don't get graded right away. Interesante. And now I'm going to go on to math. Now, I'm not going to have as many comments about the math UI just because it's not something that I've optimized. I don't have like an optimized order of operations for math questions. So I'm just going to sort of wing it, okay? And we'll see what happens here. Hang on, let me just double check the title of these things. My reactions plus my thoughts on UI and questions. That's literally what I'm doing right now. So no, the title of this is correct. UI critique and question analysis. All right, let's move on. Oh, I'm allowed to have a reference sheet, but am I allowed to have that reference sheet? Oh, okay, the reference sheet is here, digital. Wow, that's laggy. Wow, that's laggy. And plus this modal right now, I'm tapping. Can you see that? I'm tapping on directions, but it's just like this one modal is just overlapping the other modal. That's so bad. Oh my God. Okay, well, whatever. It's okay because you're not really going to use the directions page that much, but it's just, yeah, somebody didn't QA that. This seems annoying to do by finger, like just a tablet version of this. So it might be good to have a tablet to use your, like, to hold up the tablet while you're taking the test for the reading, and then to switch over to keyboard when you're going to math. Maybe we'll see. Because yeah, the tablet experience for reading is much better, I would say, than the keyboard. The keyboard shortcuts, like I said, are absolute. It's a hot garbage fire. So bad. Yeah, okay. So these, I wonder why that doesn't work. Is that hard to code? I guess maybe. All right. Let's do some math. What's up, guys? What's up, Rafai? And online SAT is easier. I mean, it's easier in the sense that you don't have to read. It's harder in the sense that every single question has its own sort of character, and so you have to kind of figure out what it's saying. But it does feel easier. And apple pie calculator is junky. Ooh, dude, I do not want to use a graphing. By the way, I've never taken the SAT with a calculator, so I refuse to use this thing. Man, the math does feel worse than the reading though. And this reference, what's with these modals? It's like some other development team developed this. Holy crap. The X is all over the place here, right? Again, if you hit the reference button, oh, you can actually, oh my God, you can swipe it around. What? What is this? It's like a whole different team made this. Yo, guys, they need to learn how to use them. Dude, are you serious? This is the... Oh, dude, they need a UI designer to go back and make this more coherent. This is pretty bad. This expand collapse, it's just like bleeding all over and... Oh, dude. So annoying. So annoying. I'm just gonna, okay, I'm gonna keep going. The scatter plot shows a relationship. It's a linear relationship, x, y. Best fit, okay. X equals 32, at x equals 32 we have a 2. Which of the following is the closest to y value? Predicted, so that's 2.5 maybe, is that 3? It's hard to see weirdly. And also you can't zoom on the math. You can zoom on the reading, but you can't zoom on the math. Are you fucking kidding me? Did they literally pay 2 different app development companies to make this? Oh, I can zoom suddenly? What the hell was that? Why can I zoom there but not here? Are you insane? Are you serious? I'll show you what's happening, okay? Okay, so, okay, I cannot zoom if I do the mind blown. It just worked. It just, what the hell? But now it's not working for some reason. Oh, you know what? Whenever it's mid animation, you can't do it. But then when the animation has stopped, then you can slowly put your 2 fingers on it and then, oh my God, that's so annoying. I feel like, okay, at least the zoom behavior is the same on both the English section and the math section. So that means what I was initially thinking, that they actually hired out 2 different contractors, is no longer, that no longer seems to be the case, because I would have been really pissed. Okay. The zoom behavior is the same zoom behavior, but the zoom behavior is still bad across the board. It's a global zoom. You know, it even gets rid, like this zoom is global in the sense that it even gets rid of the top and bottom menu bars, like the informational panels. It gets rid of those, right? Which is why? Why? That should be global, you know? Like, dude, I don't know, man. You need to do more QA. You need to do more user acceptance testing. You need to like just... College Board, please, just a little bit more tweaking. I've given you so much user feedback. I've basically done your QA for you. Please watch this video, College Board development team. I'm sure the development team worked really hard on this. And it's just a matter of, after the development, doing the testing and doing the user acceptance testing and everything, somehow something fell apart. Okay, there needs to be more user feedback. There needs to be more customer feedback. Okay. Anyway, I was looking for 2.5, so Yeah, 2.4. Next. Okay, so right now during the multiple choice portion of the math, I still find that using the two hands to be more comfortable rather than like Apple Pencil or like keyboard or whatever. Because again, the keyboard shortcuts are absolute garbage. Two nearby trees are perpendicular to the ground, which is flat. One of these trees is 10 and has a shadow that's 5, is 2. The shadow of the other is 2, so it must be 4. So we're going to move on. Student produce response directions. Okay, if I find they already gave me all the instructions earlier, so I kind of already read it, but they're giving it to me again. Whatever. The intercept of the graph is the y-intercept of this is 0y. What? It literally tells me 0y. That makes it so easy. So then, what's the value of y? So how do I get 5 point? Oh my God! They're making me use. Are you serious? They're making me use a calculator. I mean, it's not really. Like, it's 5.33, right? But minus 5.33. But still. Oh, dude. Can I just switch to show keyboard? Okay. Oh my God. Okay, well, that's shitty. Oh wait, also I'm being dumb. I'm like not doing algebra correctly. I'm like, what? I am the worst. I cannot believe I made that mistake. Anyway, um, it literally, the question itself told me what to plug in, and I almost made that mistake. Oh my God, thank you. Every time I rant about the UI, I forget to come back to the screen. Okay. How come my shortcuts are not working? Shortcut, work, go. Okay. Why did my It's very annoying that the shortcuts like my OBS shortcuts like only occasionally work. Okay, so that's minus 32. Now I think I'm the satisfaction of annotating is gone. They definitely paid some contractor, by the way. Copy paste the equation. I don't even know why the SAT does a calculator section. They should just have everything no calculator. Whatever. That's just me being old school, I guess, because the counter argument that's on like popular on like TikTok is like, oh, in the real world we'll all use calculators. Yeah, but in the real world, you're gonna get you're gonna lose the job to the person who can calculate things in their heads. So you can be in the real world using calculators, and you should like be smart, do the math in your head, on paper, whatever. Like, you don't need a calculator. Like, if the questions were just designed so they don't really require a calculator for annoying decimals and fractions, then it should just be a straightforward exercise. I don't know why the calculator is even in the test. Oh, it like jumps around. From 3, it's like a student produced response, and then 4, it's multiple choice. I like that. I like the chaoticness. It's sort of chaotic. Like, from question to question, you don't really know what's going to happen next. So I kind of like that about this test. Figure A, figure B are both regular polygons. I literally forgot what regular means. I think it means that all the angles are the same. I think. All right, sure. So maybe the sum of the perimeter of figure A and perimeter B is 63, 3x, 6y. So that means y has half as many. Oh, no, it doesn't mean anything. Okay, no, never mind. What's the best interpretation of 6 in this context?
It's just how long each side is, because you're multiplying that by 6 for the sum. Yeah, that's correct. Raspberries for 5.5 and 3. They're both pints. Store B sells 6.5 and 8. A certain purchase would cost 37 and 66. So I need to use a pencil for this. Because I would want to write out the two equations. I think this is considered a system of equations. Am I correct? I forget what the mathematical names for these things are. So right now I could just do some rough math. Like I will just use the process elimination. I'll use ABCD to help me. How many blackberries are in this purchase? So let's try. So blackberries is the first one, and it's the cheaper one. So let's try. Yeah, we're gonna start with the A first. We're not gonna start with D first. So starting with A, if we have 4 times 650, that gives me 1326. 26, and then that doesn't even count up. Okay, 5 times 650 is gonna not count up to 60. Oh no, sorry, I'm looking at the wrong numbers. Oh, I actually need a highlighter. Oh, I don't have a highlighter. I actually just need a piece of paper. This is just overwhelming to keep in my head. Okay, should I actually solve this or should I skip it? Well, I'm gonna try 4 and 8 and 12 because 5 doesn't work for store B. I'm looking at store B, I'm looking at 650 to get 66. So let's do 8 times, so 2 times 650 is 13, 4 times 650 is 26, so 26. And then 66 minus 26 is 40, so $8 for the, and I got it backwards. Raspberries is the cheaper one and blackberries is the more expensive one. So now I have to recalculate everything and now I'm annoyed. So I'm just gonna guess and move on. I'm gonna guess something randomly because I don't want to, I know I can do the thing, but I don't want to go through the actual process of doing it. Okay. I gave it like 2 honest tries, but I just mixed up all the, because I was trying to do it all in my head. I was just like mixing up like which is which. Forget it. Which is why I do everything on paper, guys. Number 6, I hate that he hates the UI too. Oh, apple pie, yes, you are allowed to have a pen and paper. You are allowed to have pen and paper. How many distinct real solutions? Real and imaginary. I assume 2. Oh no, none, because you can't have something squared and become a -4. Okay, so function f0, 86, for each increase in x by 1, decreases by 80, so 0.8. So decreases by 0.8, so I have to do 86 times 0.8 times 0.8. It's exponential, I think, if I understood it correctly. So I need a calculator for this. And I'm very annoyed that the SAT is no longer the old SAT of old, that they kind of encourage the use of the calculator now. So annoying. Where did my number go? What? It doesn't refer to the previous calculation, like every calculator that I know at least. All right, whatever. 68, oh my God. Also, this is extremely hard to use by, it's really hard to use with finger, with, you know, by touch. So I'm gonna see if if this makes it easier. They literally accept Korean input. Are you serious? And then I can just, that's kind of useless. And then if I do an asterisk, okay, that converts. And then I have to scroll up for this, and then that's what I'm doing. But calculate, that's so janky, but I guess, yeah, you know what? Use your own calculator. Do not use this thing. Do not use this thing. This is garbage. Use your own calculator, okay? Use your two hands for the reading and the writings, or the English, I mean. Use your two hands for the English. And I guess still use your two hands for the math. But have a separate calculator and pen and paper or pencil and paper, and just do not, and avoid this calculator. This is garbage. Okay, I'm done. Wow. Assuming, yes, I did assume you have two hands. Whew. Okay, let me do a quick recap of my impressions. Pros. Here, I'll even type it out so it feels more official. Okay, I'm not just gonna blab on about it. Okay, I'll actually write it all out. Give me a sec. Where's my, let me move this over. Okay. All right, let's start with pros. UI first. And the whole purpose of a UI critique is well, ideally, this critique would be used for feedback to go back to the development team, and then they could actually do something about it. But I assume that's not actually going to happen. So the primary purpose at the moment for a UI critique is to kind of come up with lessons for what you should do when you're taking the test. And then also question types for English. I'm not going to do question types for math because that's not my area of expertise. So let's look at pros for UI. Pros. First of all, it's fast, speedy, responsive. It doesn't really lag. I mean, this is not really a pro, but there's, you know, it's like a non-con, but like, you know, there's no critical like flow interrupting bug. You know, you can actually go through the typical user flow and get the job done. Cons. Some problems here. Okay, first of all, keyboard shortcuts are garbage, are literal garbage. Like they are inspired by something from heaven. And it's like this new language, this new babblefish language. No one understands it. It's completely new, and we have to convert to this new religion of the Bluebook keyboard shortcuts just to be able to use them. It's insane. Like you cannot use those keyboard shortcuts. Cons. You know what? I'm gonna add one to the pros. The cross out function, okay, is doable when using touch input for tablets, because you can hold it with your two hands and you can use your thumb to do it. Okay. Cons. Every modal or interstitial has to be exited with a direct tap on the X. Okay.
like you can't just tap outside of the modal area. You can't just tap the background. You have to literally tap on the X. There are too many confirmation modals, especially the annotation one. Like, you should not have to confirm that you're deleting an annotation. Like, why the hell would you have to do that? It's insane. This is, I think, more second place in terms of how important it is. But like, touch gestures are underutilized. Like, you should be able to swipe. You should be able to swipe between the questions. Honestly, I mean, everyone's used to that. Everyone's used to that, unless you're like 40 or like, even if you're 40, I'm pretty sure you're used to it. You know, I think the age at which you're no longer used to swiping left or right is maybe 60. Like, I think everyone's used to that. Now, I haven't done the research, so I can't say for sure, but I'm pretty sure there's not a single high schooler out there who doesn't know how to swipe left or right on the screen. I think we need to use those touch gestures. I think swipe for navigation, also pinch for navigation. I think you can pinch, you should be able to pinch out to zoom out to multiple pages. I think that's just intuitive. Having to exit the modals with a tap on the X, that's very annoying. The confirmation modals are annoying. And the math modals, like the reference and calc, are unusable, are literally unusable. Like, they're just so bad. I'm not even a math person. I'm still gonna put that pretty high up there. Here, let me even number this. Okay. So this actually is probably number 2. I would not put that number 1 for me because I'm a reading teacher, an English teacher, but still. God, that's so bad. Was there any other problem? Oh, Zoom. Zoom is awkward. It's global. It's always interrupted by minor animations. Zoom is super awkward. In fact, I don't think Zoom though is a feature you need to use very often though. So I'll just say it's not that important. But still, I would say it's actually less important than the exiting with the direct tap. Actually, I would say probably this is the least important out of the ones that came out so far. Yeah. I think those are the main ones. Yeah. You guys remember any other annoying UI features? I think those are the main ones. Okay, so what's my tips? My tips for managing the sort of negative experience of the Bluebook app, or the negative parts of that experience, is to bring a tablet if you have one, and just use it with touch input. Use it with your thumbs. Okay, I think that's the easiest way to get through it. Here, I'm just gonna add a minor one. Okay, some icons are unintuitive, especially the cross out one. Okay, it's just kind of confusing at first, but whatever, who cares? But yeah, if you use the touch interface, I think it more or less works. Okay, like, you won't be able to use the swipe gestures, you won't be able to use the pinch gestures that you're used to, but whatever, it'll work. If you're using keyboard and trackpad or keyboard and mouse, yeah, I guess you just will not use the keyboard shortcuts, but I don't think you'll be very fast. You know, I don't know. Oh, I forgot to mention annotation, guys. Annotation modal is extremely
cumbersome. You should just have a a popover toolbar like Kindle. Yeah, I would say that's pretty important. Is that more important than touch gestures? A little, yeah. Yep. So yeah, I would avoid annotations. I don't think you'll really end up needing them anyway, but we'll see once I actually do a full practice test. Avoid the annotations. Use your thumbs because it'll get you through. Don't use the keyboard. Bring on the math. I think you might as well just keep using your thumbs because you're gonna use your thumbs for most of the test anyway. So for the direct input questions, the student produced response questions, it's a little annoying, but just type on the number pad on your tablet, and just keep using your thumbs for the whole test. But for the math, definitely bring pen and paper, and definitely bring a separate calculator. Do not use their on-screen calculator. It's a hot mess. It's a hot mess. It's so bad. So like those windows are slutty. They're like all over the place. They bleed everywhere. It's just crazy. Do not use those. Do not use those math modals. And I don't know what else to say, dude. They're just so. I think that's the way you get through, though. I think that's the way you get through. And then if you're just using it with your thumbs, it's not that bad of an experience. I'm just complaining about it because I just think it could be so much better. And I care about interfaces, so because as the world moves to a more digital world, we want to have more humane interactions with our computing interfaces. And that will help us to expand our creativity, expand our productivity, expand the possibilities of everything that we're doing, including test taking. It's just one minor step along the way. But, if we can test take in a sort of intuitive human way, what else could we do in an intuitive human way? A tactile, like real way, right? Like we can draw on the iPad, right? We can make music on the iPad, right? Taking tests on the iPad, that's the next step. Then what's after that, right? What are some other things we can do? And then maybe with Mark Zuckerberg's like metaverse, what are some other things we could do, right? It is the future, so we need to have better UI design, and the College Board probably should not get complacent with this. The future kind of depends on this. I think the College Board has so many people taking their tests. It's a prime opportunity to actually develop a good interface for test taking and set the standard. So that's my UI critique. Question types. Now I see some comments here. Rating the let's raid the office. I don't know. Yeah, let's raid their stream. Oh yeah, you're gonna join up to College Board to New York. Yeah, bring our little picket. What do you call them? Picket signs. Oh my God, I can't speak English anymore. Right. So bring our picket signs. Improve the UI. A more human UI. Like whatever. Outside the College Board offices. Sure. I'll see you there 2 weeks from now. All right, let's make it happen. So question types. A quick comment on the English question types. I found the questions actually kind of fun. I like the questions. So first of all, the variety of questions seems like large enough to kind of make test taking less formulaic. I think that's a big pro, right? The variety of questions, right? It it is large enough that
I think even though you go to the SAT academies or the tutors or the books or whatever that tell you, oh, just learn these 6 question types and then like blah 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 blah, and then you just eliminate A whenever you're not sure. Just A is just not a good answer. It's like, okay, whatever, right? Like these dumb probability games. Like the more that a really good test should be able to resist the sort of mindless probability games that these test-taking companies like peddle. So I think if the question variety is extremely large, what will happen is it'd be really hard for the test-taking companies to start peddling, like start generalizing about these things. They'll still do it because it still sells. Simplicity sells. If I tell you everything is black and white, then you will give me money. It's just how the world works. It's just that I think it's bullshit. I don't like it. I don't like talking like that. I'm not that kind of person. And I'd rather just face the truth, which is, these dumb black and white procedures. They're not making you any smarter. In fact, they're not even gonna. They're gonna have you're gonna reach a ceiling. You're gonna reach a ceiling around 650 maybe, where you're not really gonna improve beyond that point because you're not using your brain. You're just doing these dumb protocols that have no sensitivity to actual English skill, right? And so the College Board actually having a large variety of questions so far, from what I can tell, with the few questions I saw, with this very small sample that I saw, I like it, but we'll have to wait and see. The other pro that I saw is I don't know. It felt refreshing, but I don't know how to express it right now because I only saw so few questions. But it felt refreshing in the sense that like it's like reading and writing, and it was interesting. That synthesis kind of works, okay? Synthesis of reading and writing just works. Not sure why, so I do need to think about that a little bit more. And I could imagine the difficulty of the questions. I could imagine the questions becoming really hard, but not in a meaningless way, okay? Meaningful difficulty for the question types. I can imagine it. Now we have to actually see if when I take the practice test, if that's how it actually plays out. But the types of questions that came out, right? Like asking you to take a set of data and then to choose the most effective way of expressing a certain point, the rhetorical function questions. I was kind of like poo-pooing the sort of like short passage format, but actually when I actually took it, the passages were like long enough kind of that like there's a lot of space for the College Board to make the questions really meaningfully difficult, right? If the passages were like super compressed and super short, then I think what would happen is that the College Board is going to start playing a lot of like logical mind tricks on you, and it would be meaningfully difficult in the sense of becoming like a lawyer or like becoming really good at argumentation and logic. But it might not be meaningful in the broader sense of reading and writing. So that's kind of, I don't know if that makes any sense to any of you who are watching, but like just pure logic can be compressed into like 2-3 sentences in such a hard and in such a difficult way that when you read 2 or 3 sentences, you need to spend like 5 minutes just to understand them, right? But that's not the angle that the SAT seems to be going. Which, by the way, that is kind of closer to how the SAT felt on the previous version of the SAT before 2016. Okay, it was more towards like the logical games, right, in your head, like getting into your head with these like really compressed sentences. So it's not going that way, and I like that. Although when I was in high school, I actually liked the logical bits, and I thought it was really cool. But as a reading test, I think this is better. So it's exceeding my expectations on these 3 things: the variety, the synthesis, and the difficulty. So it's actually way better than I expected. Cons. Let's see about the cons. Let me think. I mean, no long passages. I mean, this is just part of the structure of the thing, but I really wish they had like legitimately long passages, like a full column to read. And I wish they would have like a long passage. It doesn't have to be 3 columns, I guess, but it could be like a full column, and then you have to answer 3 questions or 4 questions about it. I really wish they still had that, because without that, you are kind of excluding a large swath of reading skills. So don't like that. And I don't know about the blanks. The blanks instead of pre-filled answer choice A. I kind of think that having pre-filled answer choice A is more effective in terms of getting the student to think about the passage rather than to be thinking about question strategy. When you have a blank, it is so obviously, so patently a multiple choice question, like a test question, not necessarily multiple choice, I guess. It's so obviously a test question that now you're like years of training, so to speak, and of dubious quality training, but still training. Your years of training to like approach test questions a certain way it's gonna get all activated because it's a blank, right? When it's pre-filled though, it feels more like you're actually reading the thing and thinking what it means, right? And I think that's a much more, like, it forces the student to actually engage with the words and the meaning of the words more. I kind of prefer that. I don't know what the scientific research is that backs having blanks rather than pre-filled answers, but I would say the pre-filled answers from a usage standpoint for me seems to be indicating that the blanks are sort of, I don't know, the blanks make me want to rely on the answer choices to tell me like what the answer is supposed to be. It makes me want to go straight to process elimination, for example, right? I don't like that. I think that's not good. That's not a good habit to instill in future generations. So those are some of the cons I saw with the English question types. All right, so that's my overview of the preview of the digital SAT. I'm actually gonna squeeze in another stream today. I'm going to go through the first practice test, or maybe there's only one. I'm not sure how it works, but I'm gonna go through a practice test of the digital SAT after maybe like a 30-minute break. So guys, thanks for watching, and as always, I'll see you guys in the next one. Until then, keep on learning, keep on growing. Peace.